Alright, in terms of the components of the internal analysis, what are the things you guys will need to understand and look at when you go about performing or undertaking an internal analysis for your firm? At the very basic level, the first thing we're going to look at in the next video are an organization's resources, both tangible and intangible. They then form the basis for a firm's capabilities, which, as I say, when they then meet the VRIN framework, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in this week's content, they then translate into core competencies, as you can see there. Hopefully for you guys, that will then be able to translate into the competitive advantage, and that will be sustainable, which leads to your strategic competitiveness. As you can see down the bottom here, in order for those core competencies to lead to that competitive advantage, as I said, they need to be meeting those four criteria there: valuable, rare, costly to imitate, non-substitutable. And they can also be related to that value chain analysis, which we will touch on in one of the future videos for this week's content. Alright, having said all that, there are going to be challenges with undertaking any internal analysis. It's not an easy process, and certainly it's an important one, but you will find some challenges that are presented to you. No doubt, like our friend Barney, you will be accepting of those challenges certainly, hopefully, by the end of this week's content. So managers' strategic decisions about their firm's internal environment are not routine. They are not the sort of decision that can be made at the same time. There will be a number of different factors which will mean you cannot just make the same decision over and over again. They also have ethical implications, particularly for the co-workers working underneath you as managers, and significantly influence the firm's ability to generate above average returns. That is, their ability to make money as a firm. There are three conditions in particular that will affect your ability as a manager to analyse the internal environment. The first is uncertainty, and what we tend to find is that these general and industry environments, which we're going to look at in more detail next week, as also our competitors and customer preferences, make it difficult and certainly quite uncertain when we try to assess the internal market, internal industry rather, environment, or even third go, Andy. The complexity also makes doing an internal analysis quite difficult, and the interrelated causes in particular that shape a firm's environments and perception of those environments will make your job as a manager a bit more difficult when you do undertake your internal analysis. Finally, it is almost inevitable that there will be intra-organisational conflicts between you as a manager, you as the person making the managerial decisions, and those affected by them, most commonly the workers who work directly underneath you. There is going to be that conflict, and that does make it more difficult to conduct a comprehensive internal analysis. Over the next few videos, we're going to go through most of the concepts, certainly from this little slide here, so that hopefully by the end of that video, you'll have a good understanding of all these different components and be able to successfully undertake an internal analysis.